What's up, Clutch City? We are finally back. What feels like a century away from you guys, and we're finally back. Circumstances are a little bit different. Of course, we are on software called Discord, isn't it, Orion?
Discord, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so it's like a Zoom-esque. So it's a different feel, but still we've got a lot to unpack for you guys. It's going to be a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more fun, but nonetheless, we hope that you all enjoy. So guys, how has your quarantine been?
Tyler?
Ryan, how you been, buddy?
I've been good, man. I've been chilling. Whenever quarantine first started, I think I was one of the first people to to like stop going out. I think I was an early adopter of quarantine because people were still going to work and doing other things, and I was like, "No, I'm good. I'm gonna stay home." I actually took off work like the last week. So I think I was an early adopter of the quarantine, and then I stayed home for months. I didn't do anything. And then now, I mean, I'm back working now at the gym at LA Fitness, so that's really all I'm doing right now. So, I mean, I've been doing good. I'm healthy. Family's healthy, so that's all I can ask for.
Tyler?
That's important. That's always good. Yeah, just been hanging out, guys. I mean, Bridge, I've kind of seen you here and there lately at work, but overall, kind of the same thing. Orion, I mean, early on, me and Megan, we've been real careful. Y'all two know this, but my wife is type 1 diabetic, and she has been since she was like a little kid. So we've been extremely careful when it comes to everything. We want to be extra safe. So a lot of time indoors, got a lot of house projects done, landscape the yard, stuff like that. So got a lot of stuff done that I'd been putting off basically for a while. So there was some positive aspects to quarantine, but yeah, just work and home and grocery store. That's about it.
Oh, calm down.
Yeah, I know. Getting crazy.
You're an old man doing all that landscaping out there.
Dude, it was actually kind of fun, but yeah, did a lot of it. Planted some pretty flowers.
Oh,
Ah.
wow.
You'll have to post for the listeners.
Oh yeah,
Flowers.
I'll post the before and after and everything.
Yeah. Well, I'm so excited to see y'all's beautiful faces again. I have totally missed y'all.
Miss you too, Bridget, for sure.
We've missed you, B.
Yeah.
You know it.
Wait, Bridget, how have you been?
I've been good. I have been insanely busy. I am still the two industries that seem to have held up during coronavirus and during the outbreak were golf and the radio industry. And those are the two industries that I'm in. So I'm still working at Tour 18 over in Humble, working there every single day, over in the pro shop and on the cart and the bar, all that. And then I am actually still with Intercom with Sports Radio 610. I'm actually producing for Clint Sterner and Ron the Show Hughley right now. So 2 to 6, everybody tune in if you live in Houston, 6:10 a.m. You'll hear me every once in a while. It's been a lot of fun. It has been taxing, and there hasn't been much to talk about, but we're definitely all getting by. So I've been good.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah. So, should we dive in?
Let's do it.
Yeah, of course.
Let's do it. Okay, so I think this is so crazy because we're totally living through history right now. Like, I mean, 50 years from now, what we're living through right now is going to be in the history books. And one of the biggest aspects of this is lack of sports and the sports industry trying to figure out a way to come back. One of those sports being the NBA. So as y'all know, the plan for the NBA is to do a bubble town in Orlando, Florida at Disney. It's going to be 22 teams, a restart for the 2019-2020 season. So they're still in the process of working out all the kinks of this. Unfortunately, people keep testing positive. Quick response, gut response, do y'all think that the NBA season will be played this year? I'll start with Orion.
Absolutely. Quick response.
Quick response. Tyler, you think it's going to play?
Yeah, I mean, it seems that the NBA, more than the other leagues anyway, to this point, has their stuff together. Like, they have a plan and they're ready to execute it. So, yeah, I think the NBA will happen.
Yeah. So, I think, do we know a projected start date?
It is
Sometime in July?
yeah,
Or
July 31st is the projected date. But yeah, I just think the NBA, the Players Association, and then the front office is Adam Silver has done a great job. He always does a great job of being progressive and listening to the players, and just the NBA being that league to come back first is something I just love to see, because I mean, I'm a huge basketball fan, and we're going to talk about other sports later, like baseball and what they're going through as well. But I'm just ready to see sports back, especially basketball. And we're going to be able to see maybe LeBron go for his fourth ring. Maybe the Clippers stop him. You never know. But I'm just excited for sports, especially basketball, to be coming back.
Follow-up question. Should this season have an asterisk next to it? It's different, because if a player gets infected, they have to quarantine for 14 days. That's going to be, I'm pretty sure there's a 122-page, I think, safety plan for the NBA. I'm not going to read it, I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure they have to quarantine for 14 days. So, say LeBron gets infected with coronavirus, heaven forbid, say he does. And I mean, that would ultimately affect the Lakers tremendously. Mm-hmm. So, is there going to be an asterisk next to this season? I think there has to be, for every sport.
I mean, I think it would be circumstantial. Like, if something like that pivotal happens in the NBA season, then yes. I mean, I guess you kind of have to. Like, if the best player on the planet can't play in certain games, then yes, there's asterisks associated with those games. But I mean, if everything goes like pretty smooth, where it's like not very many players are getting testing positive or things of that nature, and they're able to just play the games, I mean, I don't see a reason why the team that wins, there would be an asterisk next to it. I mean, they're playing basketball, and they're still going to have the 16-team playoffs after the 22 team. So I don't know. I mean, yes, it was delayed, it was pushed back, but I think it's going to still be the same. But I do think there's just like NBA Twitter-wise, like there's certain teams or certain players that if they do win, most people are going to be like, okay, there's an asterisk, or okay, no, that's like legit. You know what I'm saying? So like, for instance, if the Clippers win and then everybody's like, oh my God, Kawhi's the best player in the NBA because the Clippers win, like there's not going to be an asterisk there. But if there's a ton of LeBron haters on Twitter, so if LeBron wins, they're going to be like, oh, there's an asterisk, there's Corona, like this isn't the real ring. Just things of that nature. So it really especially if the Rockets too, our hometown team, the Rockets. If the Rockets win, oh my goodness. So 94 asterisks. I don't even want to talk about it. 95 asterisks. No Michael Jordan. It's gonna be the same. Whatever. All 3 Houston Rockets titles, if the Rockets won this year, would have an asterisk next to it. That's just how it would be. So it depends on who wins.
Well, yeah, and then ultimately, I think we're on the same page, Bridge. You're going to say the Astros championship.
I was going to say the Astros.
Yeah, every Houston championship will just forever have an asterisk. There's always going to be a reason. I love it.
It's a cool symbol. It's fine. I'm going to put an asterisk behind my name.
Yeah, like for the Astros future logo, instead of the star, they just need to have an asterisk permanently there. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I'm fine with it. I'll say it once, I'll say it again. Cheat or be cheated on.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, the Yankee stuff coming out, so you know.
Yeah. Isn't that nuts? Yeah, we'll dive into that a little bit later when we get into MLB. But Yankees, you're freaking cheaters. You're lying cheaters, which is worse than a cheater.
York's
okay.
Worst.
So let's actually dive into hometown team. Let's go into the Rockets. Ultimately, people are saying that coronavirus, the hiatus of the NBA, ultimately helped the Rockets because they were going through that little bit of a rough patch, obviously transitioning into small ball, and it started to actually go negatively, and now they've taken this hiatus. Apparently, James Harden has lost a tremendous amount of weight, has really slimmed down. Russ has still been in the gym, every single day. Do y'all think that the NBA being on pause and now restarting ultimately helped the Rockets or ultimately hurt the Rockets? Oh, Ryan.
I think.
Oh no, go ahead, Mr. Tyler.
Whatever.
Whatever. Yeah, I mean, with them playing small ball like that, like you said, it's got to benefit the Rockets at least a little bit more than everyone else, because no one else has a PJ Tucker like player playing center as much as he had been and running up and down the floor and bodying up dudes way bigger than him and just getting worn down. So I think it does help, and especially, I mean, the narrative has been with the Rockets and with James Harden over the last few years. You know, whenever they get eliminated from the playoffs, it's well, Harden just he had to do too much during the regular season. He wore himself out. He couldn't go, all 82 games and then go through the playoffs and consider playing the way he was. So if anything, it's going to take that, I don't know if excuse is the word, but it's gonna disarm that whole narrative. So the Rockets kind of don't have an excuse. They're not going to be able to lean back on, Harden needed to rest and he was tired or what have you. But yeah, I think the Rockets they got a good shot. I mean, I hate saying that because I've said it before and they've broken my heart over and over, but they always find a way to pull me back in. So I think they got a shot. Any team in LA is going to be tough to beat, but yeah, I think this benefits them, and maybe we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I definitely think it benefits them as well. Just like Bridget said, the small ball, they have time to adjust to it now. I mean, I'm sure they've been linking up or texting about it, talking about it, or whatnot. Yeah, just Coach Mike D'Antoni has more time to implement different schemes, different plays. They get to talk more. James Harden looking slim. We never know what that's gonna happen or what's that gonna mean for his game. I mean, actually, him getting slimmer with how he plays, how much he gets into the lane, and then uses his shoulders to bump out. You think he was too fat?
No, it seems bad. Him slimming down seems like a bad thing.
Wait, so you think he's too fat?
No, I think that he used
I'm just kidding.
He used his mass. Hey, I am a big James fan, but I think his mass really
okay.
Oh, I'm a big James fan.
Oh, man.
James, hit me up. No, but continue. I see what you're saying, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know how James Harden is going to fare if he really is that much slimmer. I mean, I've seen a picture of him, like, I think it was like wasn't it an Adidas, like, maybe commercial or some, it was some Adidas picture, like, it's a couple other players are, like, on a hill, and James Harden is, like, looking really slim, really skinny. I don't know how that's going to affect his game because he does, like I said, get into the lane. He uses his shoulders to bump people off and whatnot. I mean, we'll have to see. But, yeah, I think it's going to – I think the Rockets will be fine in the playoffs, honestly. I think they're going to do a lot better than what people will think.
Yeah, well, here's another aspect. Apparently, Adam Silver came out – actually, he did. Adam Silver came out about a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, and said that coaches over the age of, I believe, 60 – are questionable to be allowed on the court because, of course, they are more susceptible to catch COVID, all that stuff. Well, we have, I think, the second oldest coach in the league with Mike D'Antoni. What's going to happen if we are not able to have D'Antoni on that court with the guys? That's an unfair advantage, in my opinion.
Yeah, that is true.
That's an unfair disadvantage.
I actually hadn't even thought about that. How old is Mike D'Antoni? 69?
He's up there.
He's up there? Man.
Yeah, he's up there. I believe second oldest.
Yeah, that is something. I mean, not having your coach in any sport on the sideline is you're at a disadvantage. So, I mean, we'll just have to see what happens with the ruling on if they're going to have the coaches of that certain age on the court with them.
Yeah, there's just, I think, so many question marks to what is going to happen, and the only way to, like, ultimately see if it works is to actually test it out. I know a lot of players are having problems leaving their families for that long, so they're ultimately going to have to be quarantined in Disney World. Oh, the horror. But, like, they're going to have to be quarantined in Disney World without their families for that long.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of players are having problems with that. But I think the biggest thing is if the big players, if the LeBron Jameses, the Kawhi Leonards, if the James Hardens, if all those people are saying, yes, we're going to play, then everybody else is going to follow suit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we got those superstars, and people are going to watch. It's going to be weird without fans, but people are going to watch ultimately, and I think it's what America needs, without a doubt.
I think so too. But there are players that are saying that they aren't going to play. I know of 2 players off the top of my head. Davis Bertrands, he said he's not going to play. He's on the Wizards. And Trevor Ariza said he wasn't going to play. He was dealing with some family issue disputes and whatnot. And then Kyrie for the past couple weeks, he's been talking about it's not good. That they need to be focusing on the Black Lives Matters and other aspects of life that he thinks is more important than basketball, which they are more important than basketball. But
they are. But he had said that he was all about it until he found out that he wasn't gonna be. His team didn't want him going, and then I think it's a bad idea now.
That's true. That might be part of it.
I don't know. You never know what's going on in someone's head.
Yeah. This is the best way to unite everybody, in my opinion. I don't know. I mean, sports is something that's brought us together for centuries. Centuries sounds like a long time, but like it has, you know?
Hey, it has. Golf has definitely been around for centuries.
Yeah.
Cricket? Polo?
No, but who knows? Maybe Kyrie is being genuine. I just know that, like, I think it was Perkins who went off on him saying he had been all about it and was ready to go to Orlando, and then the Nets were like, we don't know if we want you to doing that. And then he's like, all right, well, it's a bad idea now.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
And then KD ended up calling freaking Kendrick Perkins a sellout. That was nuts. Did y'all see that? He started
those
crying.
NBA guys are always jawing at each other. They're weird.
These are mean. Yeah, like Kendrick Perkins was like crying on First Take because he was so upset about it. I was like, this is drama.
You big teddy bear.
They're not. I know he is. They're not even women.
Looks like Craig.
Our boy Craig. Shout out Craig. I have Craig on the big screen right now. He's full screened. Shout out
Craig.
Craig is recording our audio for us.
But yeah.
Go ahead, Bridge.
What?
I said go ahead.
Oh, sorry. But yeah. So we'll just have to see with the NBA. Everybody cross their fingers. Let's hope that Adam Silver continues being Adam Silver and just freaking proves to be a very a go-getter who really gets things done, especially compared to, I feel like, the other 2 commissioners. No offense. But that's a good segue into our next segment. The MLB is back, maybe.
Kinda. Sorta.
Kinda. After what feels like the longest ping pong match between the MLBPA, which is the Players Association, and the owners, back and forth, literally over a month of negotiations. Yesterday, so what was that? Monday, June 22nd, Rob Manfred finally puts his foot down and establishes what is called an implementation clause, which basically says like he has the authority to start the season, and he's going to start it at 60 games. It's going to be full prorated salary, not an extended playoff. They had decided to not do the extended playoff. So I think ultimately, if you do the math, players are getting 30% of their original salary, but they're only playing 60 games. Are we excited?
It's baseball. Yeah. It's a sport. Let's do it. Sports. Woohoo!
Shoot. Heck yeah. I mean, you got people out here wanting sports so bad they're watching Tom Brady and Peyton Manning swing a golf club. So bring on the baseball, hopefully.
Yes, agreed. So I think actually right now it should be negotiations of if the players are going to accept it or not. What I've read, according to ESPN, is that if the only way that we will not have baseball this season is if the players go on strike, which is very unlikely, especially with the CBA coming up, I think in 2022. That's when they'll be redoing the CBA. Mm-hmm. So it's very unlikely for players to go on strike. So we will have baseball this year, knock on wood. Um, Something surrounding this that is actually there's a million big concerns with this. Players have been testing positive for coronavirus like crazy, especially in the state of Florida. So I can't, Tyler, you might be able to recite all the teams that have a facility down in Florida, but basically Rob Manfred shut down those facilities, and the players have all now returned to their home cities because of a heavy spike in coronavirus. That's a big concern. I don't know. I mean, ultimately, do y'all feel that with the MLB restart, there should be an asterisk next to the championship? Tyler, go first.
It's tough because I've been hearing all this hate on the 162 game season, and I get it. Like, it's a long season. The typical Major League Baseball season being 162 games, I get it. It's a lot, but it's been that way so long, and baseball's different. And the reason baseball is different, and the reason that I've always been in favor of the 162 games, and why I think it makes sense, is because in baseball, your best, most important players, for the most part, are your starting pitchers. And your starting pitchers are only able to pitch once every 5 days. It's an unnatural motion. They got to rest their arm. So it's not like football. Your quarterback's out there every game. In baseball, your starting pitcher is different they're only around every 5 games. So I think it's necessary to have that big sample size, because you got to be able to get your best pitchers in, a certain amount of time. So in that aspect, I think it's definitely going to be, I don't know if there'll be an asterisk or if that should be the way it's thought of, but this is, I think, a big advantage to certain teams, because teams with these deeper rotations, they're not going to be able to show that off in the longevity of a normal season. Baseball's full of streakiness. It's full of these, you'll go through a rough patch during those 162 games. You'll go on a win streak. You ain't got time for that now. You got to come out and you got to win. And if you hit a rough patch, that could be the end of your season. You miss the playoffs. So I don't think there should be an asterisk necessarily, because my thing is always, if all teams are playing under the same rules, the same guidelines, the same number of games, you're all competing, winner's going to win. But it is definitely different. So I guess that's a non-committal answer, kind of. But that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat. I just don't think you can put an asterisk on something that is actually happening, unless there's the only reason you put asterisks on championships is if there's injuries or suspensions or anything of that nature. So if nothing like that is happening, you can't really put an asterisk on something that is happening if it's all in good sport, I guess. But I do understand the longevity thing for baseball, because you can't. They're not going to be able to use all those games to really strategize or come up with different lineups and things of that nature, rotations and stuff like that, like you were just saying. But I don't think you can put an asterisk on it anyways. What do you think, Bridget?
Well, if you look at the Nationals started off, I think, in 60 games? They were 19 to what?
Great
19
point.
to something.
Yeah,
so
they started off horrible last year.
Jeez.
The Super Bowl, the World Series champions, if they were playing this year, would not be winning the Super Bowl, because they started their 60 games was not even remotely close to being positive in any way. So if you look at it that way, I think it's very different. But yeah, same boat as y'all. It's just a different ball game. Haha, pun intended.
I would love it if the Astros won it, though. Oh my gosh, can you imagine how angry everyone would be?
Wouldn't that just be the biggest sucker punch in the world? I'm very anxious to see actually how they're going to break down the season, though. I know they want to keep everybody sort of in the same time zones so that their travel is not so much as far as crossing state borders and everything. So I have heard rumor, I don't know for sure, that we will be playing the LA Dodgers. Bring it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Bring it, Cody.
Twitter's gonna explode.
I know. And what's awesome is, you know, I mean, ultimately the Astros did a little bit come on top with coronavirus, and I hate to say that because it's such a horrible thing. But Justin Verlander was able to heal completely from the groin strain that he had.
Kate took
All
care of
the
him.
hate.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Kate. Shout out my girl Kate.
Oh wow.
Kate massaged his groin to
Okay, buddy.
to healthiness.
Okay,
Hey,
buddy.
he just needed some time to rehab, dude. Don't I'm just saying.
Get your head out of the gutter.
Yeah, it's just sports injury. Sorry, Bridge.
No. And so also all the backlash that the Astros were getting. Obviously, the Astros were the biggest news during that time because, you know, investigation had just come out. All that, you know, people love to hate. So, I mean, Lance McCullers was able to have an even more extended rehab and be able to start throwing again and start getting back into that rhythm. So I think that coronavirus ultimately probably aided the Astros, and now we're going to come out of the gate swinging. Haha, pun intended.
All about the puns today.
2 puns.
I know.
Wow, so Corona helping out Houston teams, huh? Wow, crazy.
Yeah. Thanks,
I like it.
Corona.
Let me ask y'all this: if and when baseball does start, and there are fans allowed, do y'all think y'all would go to a game?
100%.
I'm not really the biggest baseball fan, but if you guys invited me to go, I'd go.
Oh, that'd be
Done.
fun.
Clutch City outing.
What about you, Tyler? Would you go?
Yeah, I mean, it would. Yes, I mean, I would really, really want to, but I guess it would just depend. I'd have to just be watching the news and the numbers and see what's going on. If you can sift through all the crap and find actual facts on the news, but
Yeah.
you know,
To
that's
be
another
honest,
story.
That is a whole nother story.
Ridiculous. Can there just be like, I know that Fauci is supposed to be like you know.
He changes his opinion every 5 seconds.
What?
I always want to listen to Fauci, but he changes what he says every single day. I'm like, okay, all right, that makes sense. Then he goes back on it, and I'm like, okay.
And I'm like, you're a messiah. You're a coronavirus messiah right now, and I can't trust you. But
it's like stuff changes,
negative.
and not to go off on this bunny trail, I didn't mean to send us here, but it's like with COVID, since the beginning, everything changes every other day. It's like, you should be wearing your mask. The masks don't really do much. Oh, never mind. Definitely wear your mask.
Definitely.
It can be transferred on a surface's contact surface. Oh, never mind. It's really just airborne.
What's crazy? Oh,
don't touch anything. Like,
man, what's crazy is it's really because nobody actually knows, because we're literally just going as we go, learning as we go.
And that's
where
fine,
are the
bro.
nerds?
Nerd alert.
We don't listen to scientists. We don't listen to scientists anymore. I'm sorry, we don't. We as a society do not listen to scientists.
Agreed.
Yeah, we listen to media.
This is true.
Anyway, sorry guys.
Yeah, I don't even know where we were now.
Astros, yeah, baseball.
Fans.
Bring
Okay.
on
I
the
really
hate.
don't think that MLB is gonna have any fans. Unfortunately,
Probably right.
I don't, especially with the major spikes that have been happening since the country has sort of started to reopen. I just don't see a possibility. What I think would be I don't know. I would say, okay, make everybody sign a waiver. When you buy your ticket, you're signing a waiver that you could potentially get corona. But then what is that? That's just prolonging the spread, by putting all these people that are like, screw it, into the circumstances, just, continuing the spread. But we can't just not have our economy running. I mean, we saw what that did. It's almost irreplaceable, irreparable
There you
damage.
go.
There you go. Nice.
No, yeah, that's the whole other thing. It's death by one way or the other, and it's trying to figure out what. I mean, I'm by no means saying I know what to do. So let that be known. Yeah, I mean, it's if we were to shut down the economy like it was when all this started, that's not gonna end well. I mean,
Breaking news. Breaking
yeah.
news. Baseball is officially
Captain
back.
Obvious.
MLB players agree to safety protocols. Schedule to come.
Woo!
Training July 1st. Awesome.
Nice. We got some breaking news on Clutch Seater Roundtable. Wow, that's awesome.
Hey, first.
Love
Cool.
that.
I like it.
Cool. Let's start placing some bets. $5 the Astros win the World Series.
I mean, I'm not betting against the Astros. They're pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not either. I mean, it's gonna be like the Rockets and the Astros winning it all, and everyone's just gonna hate Houston even more.
Bro, that would be
I love it.
crazy.
Yeah,
That would be
that.
insane. 2020 would definitely be, everybody would be like 2020 is the worst year of all time if that happens for sure.
Yeah.
Like it already is, but if that happened, oh, everybody would be like, yeah, 2020 was really weird, bro.
Yeah. Man.
Yes. Oh my gosh. The year Houston won.
I can't even imagine. I cannot imagine this Rockets team and these Astros teams winning in the same season right now.
After having so much hate.
Twitter would implode.
Twitter would
Dude, I
shut
love it.
down.
Oh my goodness, that'd be wild. But
That would be wild. All right, so we got baseball. That's awesome. I'm really anxious to see schedule. Schedule's going to be pivotal.
Yeah.
I mean, people are actually going to be watching teams on freaking TV. Like, I mean, our teams. We're going to be watching our teams on TV. Isn't that insane how excited we're getting for something that was like so normal?
Yeah.
Sorry, that was stupid, but I don't know. I just like
No,
registered.
no, you're absolutely right.
I've loved sports my entire life, but I've never been this desperate to watch it. So yeah, you're on the money.
This could ultimately be helping baseball, honestly, and I hope that it does. You know, people that have never really watched it or have never fallen in love with the sport may start watching it, because there's obviously nothing else to watch, and totally fall in love. And this could, silver lining, be a good thing for baseball.
True.
Also, I am going to say I'm in favor of the 60 games because I just love the urgency factor that it's going to add. Sorry, I didn't mean to show off muscle shirt. I just think that...
Gun show!
Okay.
Wow.
Boom.
I just like
I was not expecting that.
there's definitely a lag on here.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. Go ahead and turn your video off and turn it back on.
All right. Bye, guys. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Bye.
It's all good. We can edit this out.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sounds better.
Strong.
Yeah, you're all good. We can edit that out.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so the urgency factor of baseball and every game mattering, because they don't all matter during the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
And now they literally all matter. But again, to go off what Tyler said, this is going to give other teams who, just come out of the gate and just are, kicking butt, the opportunity to do something that they potentially wouldn't have had the stamina to do in a regular season.
True.
Yeah.
So, baseball. Sick. Nice job,
Sick.
Rob.
Little
All
shot.
right. Little shot, Rob. Shout out Sports Radio 610. Well, let's move on to, everybody good with baseball?
Totally.
Cool. Let's move on to football, primarily the NCAA. So basically, the NCAA has ultimately said that they're going to be it is their number one priority to be able to have football in the fall. The SEC has come out, Greg Sankey, the commissioner of the SEC, came out and said, yes, the SEC will play ball. But now, as teams have started to go to the optional practices, they were optional, but of course, everybody's going to go to an optional practice. Have you ever heard Nick Saban say optional and nobody went? But so players are starting to come out and test positive for coronavirus after being together, after the country reopening, sort of. So LSU had at least 30 players test positive. Clemson had 28, K-State had 14, U of H had 6, and TU had 13.
Wow.
So
Thanks for the TU shout out like that. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. So what could this, there's so many routes that we could take with this knowledge, but what is y'all's ultimate gut reaction of if we will have NCAA, not professional, just NCAA football come the fall? Orion.
I think NCAA is a little bit different since they are considered amateurs, and their families will have a lot more say of if they're going to go back to school and play and participate. Just with so many student athletes testing positive for coronavirus, it's just really a bad look for those programs that have been having those practices and get-togethers and whatnot. I mean, you have to hope that there's college football. You have to hope that there's college basketball. But like I said, it's just a little bit different for those NCAA players because ultimately it's not just their decision. You know, it's they have to go home. They have to talk to their parents, and it has to be the best decision for them and their family.
Yeah. Tyler?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with college football, it's one thing not to have fans for baseball and NBA and stuff. I am struggling to imagine college football without fans in the stands. Like,
Right.
that is going to be a whole. I mean, that's just weird to think about.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of questions to be answered when it comes to NCAA football. Like, and I'm sure they would address it. But you know, if someone were to get COVID, or are you going to give them eligibility to redshirt or to add another year to their eligibility? Are you going to, if the season gets canceled, how does that work with eligibility? You know, it's just all messed up as far as, and everyone can identify with that and relate to it right now, because you have just normal everyday students at these universities that just didn't get to experience their last semester really, but they're graduating. And you know, NFL rookies that were just drafted, they're not getting training camp like they normally would. So it's like, it's weird. I mean, even beyond that, you know, high school students, junior high students, the timeline of everyone's lives are kind of shuffled around, and it's strange. But
Yeah.
There's just
Unprecedented.
Yeah, there's just too many variables for, I think, the college sports, I think. And you brought up the no fans, and those students, even the regular students, not all the students are going to go back to school in the fall. I'm sure colleges are coming up with different regulations of, like, probably if you want to come back, you can, but, like, you don't have to. So if that's the case, not every student's going to come back, and that's just going to, ticket sales are going to go down. And we already said the no fans thing. Those schools aren't going to be making the same amount of revenue that they usually do off their football, especially football programs in their programs.
Which is huge, because colleges, especially those big colleges that bring in millions of dollars, the UTs, the A&Ms, the Alabamas, they bring in millions and millions of dollars from their football programs. Though that's what funds the other sports. So say that, you know, please, there's a cure found for this, but say it's not found until December, and we actually have to forego the NCAA football season. I don't know how baseball is going to be played. I don't know. I mean, baseball makes a little bit of revenue, but nothing amounts to the amount of revenue that college football does for the university. So, I mean, our university is going to start honestly filing for bankruptcy. I know that sounds stupid, that a sport could actually do that much for college, but it's true.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the numbers that football brings in, and if there's no fans, so to bring it to home, my dad has had Texas A&M tickets. We've had season tickets since, I don't even know, like 2012 maybe. And basically they sent my dad an email and they said, hey, we understand what's going on, but if there is not a season, or if, a few games are taken away, you're basically not getting a refund. It's just going to roll over to the next season. So that's because they cannot sustain the school without that revenue. So that would totally, I just can't imagine a world without football. I really cannot.
No. Especially college football.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Like, where would the excitement come from? Where would everything that we think about in terms of college football comes from literally the fan section, the student section, and just how crazy they go, and how many students are at those big program games like Clemson, USC, UT, A&M. They get their revenue from the student tickets, and they're not going to be enrolled in the fall. It's just not going to happen.
Jeez, that's nuts. But I don't know. Let's just hope for the best.
That's all we can do right now.
For everything, for our world.
Really?
Yeah, I just got really depressed.
I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean to be so negative.
No, I did too. I was like, why are we even talking right now? What's the point? What's the point?
We gotta keep. Oh man.
If I don't see my Ags out on Kyle Fields in 2020, I'm not going to be too pleasant.
It'll happen. It'll happen one day. It may not be 2020, but 2021.
I mean, I don't know about y'all,
2020
but
is canceled.
Facts.
I don't know about y'all, but I'm just upset that the Olympics got pushed back. I mean...
Oh, yeah. I actually haven't even thought about that.
I haven't thought about that.
You know why? Because the Olympics are dumb. Hot take alert.
That is a very hot take. The Olympics are great. Come on now.
I mean, I watch them, but like I have to every 4 years act like I'm care about the Olympics or I'm not patriotic. Oh my gosh.
I think the Olympics are great. I don't know.
I think they're cool. I mean, you totally just bash people's whole lives.
Yeah, they train every single day. They wake up at 3 a.m., breakfast, workout, lunch, nap, workout, sleep, then do it again, and you just bashed on it. Wow.
Hey, they're the ones training for a sport that comes around once every 4 years instead of every season, so that's on them.
Damn.
Drops the mic.
No, all right. I'll bring back the hate. There are some Olympic sports that I always tune into. I think they're a little outdated, some of them, and overhyped.
Yeah. What's the one where they throw the thing on ice and they have the mops? They're like.
What's it called?
Skimming.
No.
Some Clutch Seat Roundtable trivia here.
I know this.
I do too.
I don't know what it's called either.
Oh my gosh. I know what it's called.
Everybody's gonna think we're dumb.
No, you know why? Because it's an Olympic sport and it's irrelevant. Gosh, dang it.
I don't know what it's called.
Son of a gun.
Wow.
It is.
Curling.
Just look it up.
Curling. Oh yeah. It is curling, like bicep curling, but I don't even know why it's called that.
Yeah.
Because it's not curling. There's no curling involved.
I apologize again. I think that's like the second or maybe third random bunny show I took us down tonight. So.
Oh no, it's all good. We're
My
chilling.
ADD
Oh
is
no,
obvious.
I love it.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think the fans love that. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, side note, I'm like,
You just scared me. I thought someone was like
isn't
Yeah.
it like this?
approaching you.
Oh yeah, it is like
Oh yeah,
that. Is that like
it is like
shuffleboard?
that. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
Oh,
like shuffleboard on ice, right?
yeah.
yeah,
I just like the
yeah,
mops. They like do it real fast. They're like, it's kind of cool.
yeah. We gotta get a gif of you now from that
Oh God,
doing
wait.
that.
Let me make myself full screen and do it. Oh man, we could do that. We could do that
Oh
for sure.
no. Duh. Okay. So, um, I want to. Oh, okay. So there's another little bit of breaking news. Obviously, our world is going through a very difficult time. Aside from coronavirus, obviously, we haven't been able to talk about it, but George Floyd's murder, and how it has thankfully arose the question of, is there still racism in the world? And thankfully people are really stepping up and using their voices to voice that things have to change. This is 2020. This is America. There should be none of this anymore, and it makes me sick to even think that people are still like this. But the good thing from all of this is that it is letting people use their voices and be heard. But there have been so Bubba Wallace of NASCAR is the only African American driver for NASCAR. And a couple days ago, I believe, it was released that a supposed noose was found in his garage. Today, breaking news as of like, I think 3 hours ago, maybe, the FBI actually investigated this and found that it was, in fact, not a noose, but a pull rope for the garage. Thankfully, nobody actually committed that horrendous hate crime like that. But I mean, we're a sports talk show podcast, so I think that it's important to talk about all sports. I've never actually watched NASCAR, but what do y'all think that this whole thing has done for NASCAR? Obviously, they've outlawed the Confederate flag usage. Fine, nobody needs. That's stupid to have that flag anyway. Honestly, I mean, it's dated, whatever. But yeah, y'all's thoughts on this?
Tyler, you want to go or?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay.
So I think that NASCAR did a great thing with what you just mentioned with the Confederate flag, because here's the deal. Like, I'm sure there are people out there, especially where we live in the South and in different Southern states. Sure, there might be people out there that have that flag that when they see it, they're not thinking anything racist, or they're not trying to be racist. Sure, that's possible. But if we're all being honest, for the most part, that when you see that flag in certain areas, in certain contexts, it's not just to honor the heritage of like your Southern family or whatever. It's to make people uncomfortable, specifically certain races uncomfortable. And it was overdue, and it was a good move NASCAR did by outlawing it. I'm not sure how they're going to enforce it or what they're going to do, because I know they struggled with that this past weekend. That's a whole other thing. But I thought that was a great move for NASCAR. Uh, Good job by them. With this, the new stuff and Bubba, that was horrible to hear. You're glad to hear that hopefully it was just some kind of misunderstanding and wasn't right. But regardless, it was awesome to see him get in his car yesterday, and all the other drivers. I don't know if y'all saw this. They all pushed his car out down pit road to the starting line for the race yesterday, kind of in a show of solidarity. So NASCAR's making good moves. They just got to keep with it. But yeah, it's just these are complicated times. I think the main thing that I take away regarding the stuff with George Floyd and all the stuff going on in our country is, you got to identify that there is a problem. Talk to people that understand it in a way that you might not, whether it be different races, different socioeconomic standings. Try to understand where people are coming from and what they feel. And also, the thing that really is driving me crazy is people got to stop like identifying themselves and sticking to these like whether it's party lines, political party lines, or things that you're supposed to identify with, or you're doing a horrible job at articulating.
No,
No,
you're
you're
good.
doing your
Yourself
thing.
is
You
what I'm
do.
trying to say.
Yeah.
I think we're not Republicans and Democrats. We're not conservatives and liberals. We're humans. We're living together. We're Americans. We need to talk to each other. Really talk to each other, not just hear an opinion and be ready to spit out whatever you think is right and disregard what they're saying. You got to think for yourself,
And
try to
listen.
figure stuff out, and listen to each other.
Mhm.
But yeah.
I mean, yeah, y'all really, honestly, both of y'all did a great job of just describing everything that's happening and whatnot. So with the George Floyd stuff, I'm horrified of what happened, but you have to be happy with what has happened after it, the response, all the protesting, all the awareness that's being raised, and I mean, we saw, wasn't it in Minnesota where it happened? They are trying to defund the police and whatnot to just use that money and those resources to like mental health counseling and other things of that nature, to help especially minority communities with anything they need. Just the thing about Bubba Wallace, I'm gonna go ahead and just shift. The thing about Bubba Wallace with the noose thing, with what happened is, Bubba Wallace was not the person to report the noose, and I think what NASCAR and Bubba Wallace is doing is great, and is obviously going to bring them more fans, especially us African Americans. Like, I'm just speaking for basically all African Americans. We're not like gonna be watching, like we don't watch NASCAR. I'm just gonna say it. We're not watching NASCAR. I've never watched NASCAR in my life, and it's really because it's hard to watch something that you can't identify with. You can't see yourself doing it. So I think what NASCAR is doing with the banning of the Confederate flag and Bubba Wallace really becoming like he's becoming a face of NASCAR. He's in the sports media news right now. I think it's a good thing. I actually saw something on Twitter too. It was just like a group of black men and women. They went to watch Bubba drive.
Yes.
Yeah, it was like a picture, and actually they tweeted before it. It was like, I can't remember exactly the tweet. I think they said, "I can't wait for all of us to go to the next NASCAR event." And then they like quoted that tweet with the picture and said, "Y'all thought we were playing." So I thought that was really cool. So yeah, I just
He actually.
yeah, I just no, you're fine.
Installed it.
Yeah, that's it. I just thought that was really cool.
Like shook other hands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that. So I thought that was really cool. So yeah, I think NASCAR is going to gain more interest, especially from the African American community, because they're just trying to show that they're trying to include everyone, and I just think that's something that everybody should be conscious of, just moving forward as a human being and in our lives. Was there anything I missed? Was there a question? What I don't even know what the question was beforehand, or
You answered perfectly. That was just the gist of it. Let's just like get the conversation going about what happened, what's going on, and I think that both of y'all put it absolutely beautifully of just what needs to happen. Let's hope that America follows suit, and let's just treat everybody with love. Think of love first. Think of the fact that we're all the same as far as being human beings, and that if you just have just a little bit of love for one another, it's going to eliminate all of these issues, all of them, just a little bit of love. But yeah, definitely, I do think that the conversation is now started, and people are realizing there is a problem, and I do think that change is, I have to believe that change is right around the corner for everybody.
It needs to keep going though. We need it trending every day. We need everything, just like Black Lives Matter and justice for all these people that are getting brutally murdered by police. Whether it doesn't even matter if they're black, if they're white, if they're Hispanic, it doesn't matter. If somebody's getting brutally beaten or murdered by a police officer, they need to be held accountable. It doesn't matter the race. It is a race thing because for Black Lives Matters, we feel like there are a lot of unarmed black women and men that are murdered, and it's shown, and then nothing happens. But at the same time, it happens to every race as well. So it really, in the big picture, it's an all race thing, and it's just something that officers and that we need to focus on for just to get rid of police brutality as a whole. And it's crazy because Colin Kaepernick, literally, this is 4 whole years ago. 4 years ago. This is what Colin Kaepernick was talking about. This is what he was kneeling for. And it's crazy that he got so much backlash then. It's crazy that there was so much pushback. And then now people are like, wow, like, I see it now. Or like, man, Colin Kaepernick was right. Maybe he deserved a chance. Maybe we should bring him back in, and just stuff like that. It's just crazy that I guess he was ahead of his time. But I mean, really, you can't really say that because race issues have been happening forever. But just in our time frame of life, Colin Kaepernick was before this big explosion of what happened to George Floyd and the I Can't Breathe stuff. And even NBA players, they were wearing I Can't Breathe t-shirts. I don't even know how long ago, 5-6 years ago, and it's just crazy that it just keeps happening, and I just hope it stops for especially us African Americans and all Americans.
Well
Great.
said, sir.
Perfectly said, sir. Yes, absolutely. Well, hard to segue from that, honestly, but let's just play a little bit of a game, I guess you could call it, in light of Corona. We're all gonna drink Corona. No, I'm just kidding. In light of Corona, let's play a game of basically, we may not have fans this year. In 2020, it may not be realistic for us to have fans. Heaven forbid, but if that does occur, what do we feel are the pros and cons of not having those fans? So I'm gonna basically just assign everybody a sport. So Orion, I'm gonna give you basketball. No, I'm gonna give you curling. What if there's no fans in curling?
Curling? I don't even know what's going on.
Oh wait, there's no fans at curling anyway because it's not a real sport.
Wow. All the curling fans out there are gonna come for you if they see this.
We just lost all curling fans.
At Team El Real Deal on Twitter, y'all come at me. All you curling fans, hit me up on Twitter. I'm ready. Bring the heat.
Bring the heat. Okay, so Ryan, I'm going to give you basketball. So go ahead and start thinking of the pros and cons of not having fans. Tyler, I'm going to give you baseball, and I guess I'll take football. Okay? So everybody brainstorm.
All right.
Brainstorm. Okay. So should we do this in like a one answer format?
I think we should go one by one and just list out the pros and the cons.
Oh, like list out every single one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Was that the game?
Okay.
I don't want to impede on your. Okay.
No, I don't know. Hang on. Let me get out of my videos. Freaking slow. Okay. So who wants to go first?
I'm down.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Pros of no NBA fans. Pros. You can't get run over in the front rows by LeBron James or Shaquille O'Neal or Giannis Antetokounmpo if they, go up for a layup and then get pushed. There's not gonna be a big body running into you. Is
it bad? I want that.
I guess not.
I want that to happen.
Okay. Why do you want that to happen, Bridget? Why? Well, you're on the big screen. Now we want to know why you want that to happen.
Because I can give him a hug.
Oh, okay. All right. I understand that. Pro of no fans. Oh, we get to hear the players. I'm really hoping with the NBA that they do like the XFL. Like mic up. Yes, that would be so cool to hear. Just like screen right, or like he's behind you. Just things of that nature. Just basketball call-outs. I think that'd be cool. I mean, we'd hear the squeaks of the sneakers too, and they're like cutting back and forth, and it's like squeak. That'd be cool. The NBA was talking about using the NBA 2K fans after like somebody scores or like their noises and whatnot. I think that'd be pretty cool. I guess there's a lot of pros. Wow, I just went off with a lot of pros. I thought I would have more cons. Maybe there should be no fans. Just kidding. Just kidding. I want to be at NBA games. Cons of no fans. I'm sure the players will feel weird. I'm sure it's gonna be really. Honestly, I've actually played in like a stadium where there was like really like no like fans, like where the basket is. I guess I should lower my hands. Where the basket is, if there's like nothing like behind it, your depth perception is really thrown off of where the basket is. So like if you're shooting a three, like you can see like the rim and the backboard, but like it's hard to gauge where it actually is because there's nothing behind it. It's just the airing the goal. So I mean, I'm sure they already have that problem sometimes because that's just how it is. They're playing in those big arenas, but your depth perception could be off as a player. That could be a con. Cons and no fan. We won't be able to see kiss cams. We won't be able to see the halftime shows where the fan is shooting the half court shot for millions of dollars or something, and then you get LeBron James to come and tackle you and give you a hug. We won't be able to see that. Oh, who are the dancers going to be dancing for? Are they going to be there?
That's a good point. Is there a halftime show?
Is there a halftime show? Yeah, that's a great question.
Good point.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Somebody tweet Adam Silver and ask him.
Yeah, that'd be weird. Are the dancers going to be there? Are they even going to be there?
I mean, that's more people that you've got to test every single day, so I'm going to say no.
True.
That they're not a necessity, unfortunately. Sorry, girls. I mean, I think we are, but...
I think so, too. I think so, too. I love the dancers, but I don't know. It's just kind of weird. I do like the idea that the NBA is doing, though, of, like, keeping everybody in one, like, site. It made me think of the UFC. They're doing the island, you know. They have the fight island that they're going to be doing fights on, but just not to go off on a bunny trail like we've been doing. Those were my pros and cons for the NBA.
No, it's like a camp. Like
yeah.
They're all going to summer camp.
One time at band camp.
That's nuts. I wonder if like
Tyler, I know you know the reference.
I know it too.
Oh, you do too? Okay. Hey, look. You just kind of kept rolling, so I didn't know if you knew it.
American Pie.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of y'all. Y'all actually know about a movie that was filmed.
Boom! Me and Bridget. Let's go.
Good job. Good job, guys.
Gen Z. Isn't that nuts?
Sorry, millennial.
Tyler, you're old millennial.
You youngins in your Gen Z.
And your iPhones.
Yeah.
Oh my
exactly.
gosh.
Okay, good pros and cons, Orion. You thought of some things that I had never thought about, especially Kiss Cam.
Kiss Cam's great.
And proposals.
True.
Sucks.
Oh, and also when one last thing, I swear, one last thing. Whenever they do like the veteran coming home to see their kid, like they're doing the challenge, that won't happen. Oh my gosh.
That'll tug at the heartstrings.
Yeah, now I'm sad. Oh man. Okay.
I guess the good thing about this is we're never going to take these things for granted, again, or hopefully we don't. Hopefully, we, appreciate these things so small and so like, oh, that's every single day. Now they're going to be huge,
Huge.
Tyler, you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
You go ahead, B.
Okay, so the cons of let's do the pros first, because there's like one. The pros of not having fans at football games. I think the honest only answer is that players can be mic'd up, which they could be anyway. I think it's just going to be so unbelievably awkward. I think that football is a sport. I mean, all of them are, but especially football is so driven by the way that fans react. It's the fun of going to, I mean, I don't know how. I've heard a lot of football players say that they don't even notice the fans. You know, they're in the zone and they don't even notice the fans, but I bet most of them do. And, you know, it amps you up whenever you defense, you're loud on defense so that the quarterback can't hear, you know, things like that. All the home field advantage is taken away.
Mm-hmm.
I was supposed to be doing pros and I just went to cons.
That's okay. Do your thing. Do your cons.
Okay, cons, everything, literally everything. The revenue, the revenue of the sport, not having any revenue for it. The thrill of getting to see fans on the, you know, TV screen doing stupid stuff. All of it. It's all, we need fans. We need them.
It all sucks.
It sucks. This isn't that even the fun game. This dumb game I thought of.
No, it's a great game.
It's all bad.
It's a great game.
Bad.
No, you did great, Bridget. It's a great game. You got any more?
It's all bad. Tyler, go.
Oh, man.
So baseball, along with every other sport, people want to say, you know, oh, well, home field, home court advantage, the crowd. Well, when it comes to baseball, ladies and gentlemen, I just watched the Astros play in a World Series in which the home team didn't win a single freaking game. So I can't even use that argument.
Great point.
I still cannot believe that happened.
Isn't that nuts?
The Astros, oh my gosh, dude. Like, you have a Game 7 at home. Doesn't matter. Anyway. So yeah, baseball, I feel like of all the sports, being a fan at a baseball game is so different. It's more like it's a chill atmosphere, you know. You're gonna watch the game, but you're also gonna be socializing with who you're there with a lot and talking. You don't have to have eyes locked on at all times, although you should to watch out for foul balls and such. But you're gonna be talking. You're gonna be going to the concession stand and getting food that's horrible for you and grubbing down and drinking beer and all that good stuff. But as far as specific pros and cons, I think a big part of baseball games, especially for kids, is, you know, getting to be there and the hope and experience of catching, you know, a foul ball or a home run. Like, that's going to be missing. So that's kind of sad. I'll tell you one thing I am happy for, that if there aren't any fans, we won't have to experience, is watching the damn wave. That is the most tired celebration, or it's not even a celebration, the most tired crowd interaction at every sporting event. Stop jumping up and waving your arms around like a lunatic while I'm trying to watch a baseball game.
Wave. Let's do the wave right now.
Oh, Lord.
All right.
Kill the
I'm ready, Bridget. I'm ready. Are you starting it?
All right. Yeah, I'm starting.
Go ahead.
3, 2, 1.
See, it ended right here, because it is the most tired. It is the most tired, just ridiculous. And then you got people judging me. Oh, you didn't get up out of your seat and flail your arms around like a lunatic. I'm sorry. I'm trying to watch the game and eat my hot dog. Leave me alone. I'm like, don't tell me what I need to be. I paid for my ticket, for my seat for this game, and you're going to look at me and tell me I need to stand up and flail my arms around every 15 seconds whenever it goes around the stadium? Get out of here. You spend your ticket the way you want. You want to jump around and look like a lunatic? Fine, do it. Anyway, that's a pro. No more wave. Maybe this is the end of it. I doubt it. But Yeah.
That was the hottest take you've ever had.
I've never ever seen you be so passionate about something. I mean, I have, but not like that. Oh my gosh, that was something.
The wave gets under my skin, bro. I just, Anyway, overall, crappy situation. I want butts in the seats at Astros games. But yeah, that's where I'm at.
What if, I just thought about this. This is a big thing. So obviously, like, different states have different protocols as far as like opening. You know, Greg Abbott is the Texas governor, and he said that if in open stadiums, there can be 25%, yeah, 25% capacity in stadiums. But states like New York are saying absolutely not. So that's going to be another interesting aspect of how this is handled, as far as like, are people going to have to relocate to different states in order to be able to play? There's so many question marks to all of this, and I'm thankful that I am not in charge of these decisions, honestly.
Preach.
True.
Yeah, but okay, so what we took from this is curling is not a sport, and the wave is horrible. Those are Tyler's hot takes.
Jesus.
It's just, I wouldn't care as much, but don't like get upset with me when the wave stops at me. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh, amazing. Well, can you guys think of anything else?
No, actually.
Just went through a lot of stuff. For
Just miss y'all's faces.
True.
missed y'all's faces too. Well, I mean, for not a lot going on, we did just spend an hour talking about all that not going on. So very optimistic for the restart of sports in 2020. I think it's what America needs. We're all crossing our fingers. Ultimately, we're all three gonna be here whenever sports do start, and we are going to recap them. Hopefully it's in person, but if not, it'll be something sort of like this. So everybody continue to tune in. We're so happy to be back. We're so happy to be talking sports. We're so happy to be talking Houston. But yeah, everybody stay up to date with us. Follow us on all our social medias. I know they've been a little bit quiet lately, but maybe we can get some fun stuff going on those social medias. But yeah, I enjoyed it, guys. I'm very happy that we got to do this.
Yeah, it was awesome for sure. I loved it.
Yeah. It was a long time coming. Glad we were able to do it, guys and girl.
I'm a girl. So yeah, everybody stay tuned for more content coming from Clutch City Roundtable. We're so happy to be with you. Everybody stay safe. Wear your mask, I guess. That's listen to your law enforcement people.
No, listen to Orion Lewis right now. You better be wearing your mask. If you near me, you better be wearing a mask. That's all I'm gonna say.
Until next week when a new study comes out that says wearing a mask is horrible.
Fair point.
Fair point.
I'm just kidding, though. For now, wear your mask. Wear your mask.
Wear your mask. Everybody cross your fingers for sports to return. And we'll see you next time here on Clutch City Roundtable.
See you guys.